Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm your host, Belinda Sandor. Let's get started. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm your host, Belinda Sandor, and today we're going to talk about both practical and tactical advice for your virtual assistant business. And these tips will work for you whether you're just starting out or you've been a VA for a while. So I'd love to hear, I'm going to pull the comments up. I'd love to hear where you're coming in from. So please put that in the comments as you join us today. We are streaming all over the place. We are on LinkedIn, we are on Twitter, we are on YouTube, and we are on multiple platforms and groups inside of Facebook. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I see you're all coming in. So tell me where you're watching us from live today. All right, Heather's here from Chattanooga. Awesome, 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 awesome. So today we're going to talk about how to show your clients and prospects exactly like the depth and the breadth of what you're capable of your work. And we're going to do it in a way that's very natural to share and that you don't have to create something special. All right. We're going to do this in a way that really shines the light on you. And that's what I'm very excited about. All right. So here we have people coming in. So Heather is here from sunny Colorado and Connecticut. I'm in Connecticut too. And Lebanon, Oregon. Okay. And Rhonda's here from Alberta, Canada, and Ontario. Hello, Tasha. Tasha just had a birthday. Carol Fry from the UK and Jennifer Grayson from Canada. Awesome. Tasha's coming in from Canada. And Meredith is coming in from Gulf Breeze, Florida. And Nelia is coming in from North Carolina. Awesome, you guys. So let's keep the comments going. All right. It's a lot more fun for everybody when we're engaged. So take some notes in the chat. If you hear an aha, put it in there so everyone can see it. And let's help everybody out in our community. Okay, good. So let me, before we dive into this concept of creating a display, this display case for your business, which I'm going to talk about, let me introduce myself quickly. Okay. So, this is me and my delicious daughter. I like to call her my little delish. I'm not sure she loves that, but as a mom, we get to do that, right? And this was us 11 years ago when I was just starting my business. She was 9 years old, and I was in a pretty rough spot. Life kind of came up from behind and grabbed me, and I just found myself in this place that I couldn't believe. I was a newly single mom. I didn't have a job. I had a ton of debt, like capital letter debt. Emily and I had to move 3 times in 4 years, which is very jarring. And I didn't know how I was going to get out of this. Like, sometimes you get yourself into some trouble and you think, okay, I know what I'm going to do. It was not clear to me, and my confidence was totally shot. You can imagine, right? So I want to take care of this little girl. I want to give her my best, and I don't have any money. And money is a big fuel for life, right? And the other thing is, I was just turning 50, and it's interesting. Now I'm 61, and I have a different perspective on turning 50. But at the time, it didn't seem like there was enough runway in front of me to pivot. I really didn't feel like I had enough runway to pivot and change the way my life was going. I really kind of thought, I'm going to be in the world of minimum payments and struggle, for a while at least. I really, that was hard to swallow. That was hard to swallow. But the thing is that, I was really determined, and I knew very well that I couldn't afford to get a job making $50,000 or $60,000 a year and get out of debt and take care of us where we lived. Like, that was going to be impossible. And the other thing was, I wanted to be in charge of what my days looked like. I was willing to work hard, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to be at Girl Scouts. I wanted to be a Girl Scout leader. I wanted to be at the bus stop. I wanted to be able to go get Emily if she was sick at school. Right. And if any of you have been in corporate or, had jobs and a sick child, they don't mesh well. The boss is never thrilled about that. And I get it. So what I decided to do was admin work. I was a secretary back in the dark ages when they called us that. And I knew how to do that. And I liked it and it felt comfortable to me. And I didn't know, I didn't know what small business owners were going to need help with, but I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to put it out there. So I was at the school bus stop one morning, and one of the dads were generally there in the morning with the kids, said, "What's new?" And I said, "Well, I've decided, I'm going to start this business and I'm going to help, small business owners and entrepreneurs with the admin stuff of their business." And his whole face changed. And he said, "Really? Are you kidding? I started a business a month ago," which I had no idea. And he was drowning in admin stuff, like setting up QuickBooks, things I already knew how to do, cleaning out his inbox, paying his bills. And so he hired me, and I was, that was my start right there. I didn't have a website. I didn't have a business card. I didn't have any of those things, but I got started. And then my next client I met at a wedding reception. I was standing in line, chit-chatting, and a man and his wife, and he asked what do you do? And I told him, I'm doing admin work for entrepreneurs and small businesses, and he gave me his card, and I connected with him on LinkedIn. And that was one of the scariest / smartest things I ever did, because he reached out a few weeks later and said, "Hey, I'm running an event. Do you think you could help me? This is what I need." And I totally knew how to do what he wanted. And we worked really well together. And after the event, we sat down, had a cup of tea, and he said, "I want to do webinars. I don't know how to do it, but I know that you can figure it out. Would you work with me on this?" And I said, "Yes." And we've been doing those webinars for 11 years. In fact, at 2:00 today, we're doing one. And it's been consistent work, and it's been great. And I've learned a lot working with him. And so what I want you to take away from this is that you can turn your life around. You can do it when you think you're too old to. And the other thing is that clients are everywhere. They're everywhere. So stop spending your time prospecting and, going down these dark holes and jumping up and down on Facebook and all the things that we're doing. I see people doing to get clients, because clients are everyday regular people who are right in front of you. You just have to spread the word. Okay. All right. So let's check in on the comments. All right. So we've got Janet is here from Vegas. Hello, Janet. And this is Tamar, right? Good afternoon from Ghana. Wow, this is awesome. You're welcome. My pleasure to share with you. Heather says, "I'm turning 50 in March of 23. Belinda's stories really struck a chord with me." Yeah, I know. And Gloriana is from San Antonio. That's awesome. A lot of people are in that boat. And I didn't know that. I thought I was the only one that had somehow miserably failed at life, and got myself in this situation, because people don't talk about it, and so it's very isolating. And that's one of the reasons I talk about it, because you know what, did I make all the best decisions that I could? Probably not. Did I make the best decisions I could given what I knew? Yeah, I was trying. I wasn't, eating bonbons and watching television. I was definitely out there trying to make it work, and I just couldn't until I made a pivot. And that's what happened. Yeah. All right. So let's keep going. So I want you to, so I just kept going. I kept telling people what I was doing. And now I've been in business 11 years. I'm still a virtual assistant, and I have worked with over 225 clients over the period of those years. And I've made over $1 million sitting in this exact chair that I'm sitting in right now. And that's from helping small business owners with their businesses, Monday through Friday, sort of a 9 to 5, sometimes 9 to a little later. But that's really that's really how I did it. I didn't build a big agency. People ask me, "Did you make $100,000 a year?" And that's what it was, $100,000 a year. Did you do that? Did you bring a bunch of people in? How did you do that? It was just me. And Carol says, "Good to hear. I'm 53. Yeah, 53. Believe me, you have plenty of time. You got to get on it, but you have plenty of time for sure." Okay. All right. And so this is what it looks like today. So for those of you who are new to me, I got married last summer. This is my new husband, Greg. And these are our kids, Emily and Greg's 4 boys, David, Charlie, Stephen, and Andy. And this was on our wedding day. And my life is very different. My finances are handled. No more minimum payments, no more barely getting by. I said goodbye to all of that. I have a thriving business, And I was there when Emily grew up. I was there, the good, the bad, the everything, but we did it together, and she is thriving. She is just got this great internship actually with one of my clients. And she's just, tearing it up. She really is. And I'm able to help her. I'm able to help her and come from a place of feeling successful and confident myself from doing the work and doing what it took to grow this business. And you guys can do it too. You can absolutely do it too. And today I'm going to show you, it's really, I didn't realize what I was doing until I looked back on it. But I'm so happy to share this like big secret that I had, to my success as a VA, because you can get started on it right now. Okay, so let's dive into this. Okay, now I want you to think about this for a minute. Okay, you're a small business owner. If you're a VA, you're an entrepreneur, right? And for the most part, so are your clients. And what you're going to find, and this may really surprise you, is that much of what you need to do to make your business successful, they need to do too. Right? All the same things. Just think about that for a minute. I want you to just like sit with that. Because what happens as a result is by working on your business, you're able to share what worked for you in your business with your clients, and they are all ears. They are all ears. All right. So the thing that I want to try to spark in you is that to see how working on your business helps other business owners as well. Because by you getting this experience, by you gaining the confidence, by you being able to show examples of what you can do for them in your own business, it's like a superhuman, secret power for sure, because they just say, wow, you did that? Yeah, I did. And I'm happy to help you too. So when you're a helper like us and you think that there's not a good reason to work on our own businesses, this is a big reason, because you're helping other people. You're building a display case of your capabilities that you can show your clients and prospects to get hired. So let me know how that lands for you. Okay, we're going to dive in a little deeper, but let's just look at that. Okay, all right. Now, let's talk about the email newsletter, okay? When I started my business, the first thing I worked on was my email newsletter, okay? I was told by a successful entrepreneur that sending out an email newsletter was the fastest way, one of the fastest ways to get traction in my business and to start both clients and revenue coming in the door. And I believed him. He was, like I said, he was successful. He was, supporting a family of 5 and a beautiful home. And I thought, okay, he wants to help me, and this is what he's telling me to do. I'm going to do it. So that's where I started. So think about how an email newsletter is putting yourself on display. All right. So every 2 weeks, I started sending out a well-written, error-free, professionally designed newsletter to everyone I know. Okay. So think about the power in that. So when they see this newsletter, even if they don't think it right away, I'm planting the seeds in their mind that I know how to produce a newsletter, right? And like this, it just keeps getting better. And I'm writing about things that I can do to help them, right? So do you see how powerful this is? Like every 2 weeks, there I am, every 2 weeks. And the key to this, really, because a lot of people get stuck. I am not a natural writer. This was a big deal for me, a really big deal for me. I didn't take myself too seriously. Like, okay, this is not going to be something that, is going to be going viral. It's just like practical, down to earth tips that small business owners and entrepreneurs can use, in their own businesses. Okay. And here's the other thing, and I want you to write this down. You need to be consistent in your business. No kidding. Now, I know life happens, but you've just got to do everything you can to be consistent. Because what happens is when you consistently send your email newsletter to everyone you know, people get that you're consistent. They get that you care about your business. They get that you're serious. And they get these fabulous tips showing them, how many things you know about, right? Now, I couldn't do this alone. I wrote my newsletters and I had them edited. I ran them by a proofreader friend of mine. I'm not a natural writer. But that doesn't mean I can't do the most powerful thing that I was told that's going to grow my business, which is an email newsletter. I figured it out, right? I figured it out. Now, here's some examples of, here's an example of something you can write about. 3 tips for keeping your inbox cleaned out, right? You don't need to do research. You don't need to, spend, well, I used to spend hours and hours because I was just so uncomfortable. But you just can look at your timesheet. Look at Toggle. What did I do this week that I can write about? What are clients keep asking me about, and write that. And you don't want to overwhelm them. This is not about being the smartest person in the room. This is about being relatable and sharing actionable information. Okay. Now, many times people have gotten in touch with me to talk about working together, and they've said to me, I've been thinking about hiring you for a year. Are you taking new clients? And I look, and I don't know who they are, but they're email newsletter subscribers. And they've been reading my newsletter, maybe not every week, every 2 weeks, but they've been reading it. And that little seed has been planted. And it's really a great way to grow your business. So you want to look for opportunities to grow your email list every day, but just don't add anyone without their consent. Okay. Now, newsletters are not easy. They're not easy because there's a technical piece, there's a writing piece, there's the putting yourself out there piece, but it is absolutely the thing to do to get started. So if you're spinning your wheels, if you're, what do I do? There's the EIN, there's the website, there's all the things. Stop doing everything and do this. The rest of it you'll figure out. I promise. Okay. The rest of it you'll figure out. So do this. Okay. Oh, good. Somebody says, I literally just started newsletters last month. That's great. And you might not get a direct hit, like someone says, I read your newsletter and I want to hire you, but it's just planting the seed. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. And Christina says, definitely consistently is very important. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So email newsletter, and I've got a bunch more examples we're going to dive into. All right. So we want to make it as easy as possible for people to talk to you, right? Both your current clients and your prospects. So after being in business a couple of years, I thought, how much time am I wasting with this back and forth, trying to schedule a meeting? And here's the thing, I'm not very patient when it comes to things like this. And I was wasting time, and I hate to waste time. So if you don't know it, let me tell you what scheduling software is. This is what I did. Okay. Scheduling software is an application. There are a few out there that you might have heard of: Calendly, Time Trade, Schedule Once, and my favorite, Acuity, right? The application is connected to your calendar, and it allows people to book time with me during the day when I'm not already busy. Okay. You have a lot of control over when someone can book time with you. You don't have to worry about it by setting rules within the application. So I have links to get on my calendar in my email signature, on every page of my website, in my email newsletter, and on my social media profiles. So think about this. Okay. Think about how magical this could be. Let's say you have a client and they're working at 8 o'clock at night, and they're thinking, I cannot believe how much I have to do. I really need to get help. And they're struggling. And then they think, oh, Belinda offered these 30-minute sessions. Maybe I should book one. They go to my website, they look up an email, however they remembered me, there's the link right there. They click, they get on my calendar. I'm not even in the room, right? I'm not with them. I don't have to get involved. And they think, okay, this is good. I'm going to get some relief. Okay. Now I want you to think about this in terms of your display case. So tell me in the chat, how do you see that this can fit into your display case? Applications like this. So I'm going to give you a minute to share that with me. So it's just like the newsletter, right? So they experience my system. They see how easy it is. They see how professionally, it all fits together, because I took my time. I probably took a whole day or more to set up Acuity, to learn it, to put my logo in it, all the things, and really thought about it from their point of view. So Lynn says, shows you have a system set up for calendar management. Yeah, it does. And so without me even being there, what they're seeing is, oh, this scheduling thing is really cool. I have probably installed Acuity, Calendly, Time Trade, and Schedule once, 40 times, because people, they say, oh, well, I don't use Acuity. Can you do Calendly? You bet. No problem. I mean, just recently a client said to me, can we book an hour? And I just want to screen share and review my Calendly with you because I don't feel like I'm using it to its best use. You bet. And I'd never used paid Calendly before, but because I knew how to use Acuity, it's all kind of the same. You have a reminder, you have a Zoom link, you have an integration, so even going in cold, because I know another software that's similar, it wasn't a problem. Yes, Lynn, this is a really good point. And being organized, right? And being organized. So they're like, this is like a sharp cookie here because she's taking care of her business. I want to see what she can do for me. Right, absolutely. Okay. All right, so let's keep going. This is something else, a really good business card. I want you to get a professional business card. And if you can't make it yourself, which I cannot, ask a friend to do it, hire someone to do it. It doesn't have to be expensive, but make sure that it looks professional. It has your logo and it has up-to-date information. And you also want to make sure it has really nice cardstock. My card, when I hand this to people, they always say, oh, that's a really good card. That's what you want them to do. And then you want them to keep that card as an example of a really good card, right? So here's what I did. I didn't, like I said, I didn't design this. Whoops, sorry. That's my next example. I didn't design this, but I had my graphics guy do it. And I went to moo.com, like moo like the cow, MOO.com, and I got 50 cards for $20. And 50 cards will go a long way, right? And then by the time I needed more, I could afford them. Yeah. So you definitely want to do that. Now here's what I want to tell you with this slide. Now, I didn't design this. I don't tell my clients I designed it. I say, hey, my graphics guy Mark did it. And they say, would you work with him to get a card for me? Yes, I would be happy to. And here are just 3 examples of business cards that I've done with Mark for clients. So what happens is the clients ask me to work with Mark. They're paying for my time while I'm working with Mark. They're paying Mark for his time, right? I don't mark him up. It's easier not to do it that way. And they are thrilled. And then guess who's in charge of reordering business cards? Because I'm the one that set up the Moo account. Me. So again, from this thing that I can't even do, I generate revenue, right? Okay. Let's see. Lynn says, if your VA business is streamlined, it makes it super appealing for other business owners wanting the same thing. That's right. That's the whole concept of this display case, right? Yeah, business cards are gold. And people, I don't know what it is with business cards, but they keep them like forever, right? Yeah. And Lynn says, I got a nice thick business card last night. That's great. That's really great. Okay. I'm glad you guys are getting this. This is awesome. Okay. Your email signature. An email signature is a set of information at the bottom of every email that you send out. Now, when I started my Rocket Girl business, I stopped using my personal email account and used my business account for everything because I wanted to spread the word about my business every single way I could. And this is one way that I did that. All right. So let's look at the elements of a good email signature. Okay. So definitely your logo if you have one, your tagline if you have one, your name, title, location if you want, but definitely your website and your phone number or your LinkedIn profile if you don't have your website up yet. That's totally fine. Now, many people don't have their phone numbers in their email signature. And now that we're all on Zoom all the time, that's probably not a big deal. But back in the pre-Zoom days, it was a big deal. And it was such a pain when people didn't have their phone numbers. If I had a meeting with them and I was looking for it quickly, that's a good way to, to see this. Yes, I can definitely make myself smaller. Thank you for asking. Okay. All right. So email signature. And then guess what? You can guess what happens next, right? Here's some email signatures that I've made for my clients getting paid for them, right? So they don't have to be a big deal, but they, it's the logo that Mark makes, and you just put it into Outlook or Yahoo or, Gmail or whatever it is with their, with their information, and they're thrilled. They're thrilled. Okay. Okay. So let's say a client says, I want to grow my email list. And you're an expert at growing an email list because you've taken your list really seriously, right? You've done the things that I've said. So let's talk about ways that you have grown your list that you can tell your clients about. I've done this. I've been paid to do this. Okay. So the first way is connect with their people on social media and ask for their email address, right? I don't know how many hours I've done that for clients. A lot where I just go into their LinkedIn and I go into their connections and I say, hi, I'm starting an email newsletter. I'd love to add you to my list. Can I have your email address? And then I put it into whatever it is. I've done this for my own business. Absolutely. And that's how I figured it out. I did it for my own business. And then when a client asked me, how can I grow? I told her, right? And if you and then another way is the opt-in box. All right, so that's what this is an example of. This is an example of the opt-in box that's on my website in the footer of every single page. So if a client's starting a newsletter, I'll say to them, oh, we need to put this on your website. I take them to my website and I show this to them. And for all of you who have the website in a box for virtual assistants, there's a whole video explaining exactly how to get this sign-up box on the website, okay? And once you do this, it's now in your display case, right? So I hope you're starting to see how cool this is, right? All right, so I also show them how to put special and personalized touches on their business in the same way that I've done. So once someone opts into my email newsletter list, this is the page they're taken to. It could just say thank you, right? And leave it at that. But instead, it has a personalized message and it has a picture of me at the Grand Canyon, right? So now I've made myself more relatable. I'm showing that I'm a person. This is not a robotic thing that happens. And when I show them this page, I am not kidding you. Some of them have squealed because they're like, "This is so cool! I love this! I love this!" Right? And they see an example and they know that I'm doing it and they trust me. And so they say, okay, I'm going to find a picture, and they find a fun picture. And then we take the text that I have here that I had help writing, and they use it and we modify it, right? So I just say to them, here's the text, here you go. I'll email it to you, change the words and send it back to me. So they're not starting with a blank page. That's so valuable, right? So you can see how many things there are in my display case. Now, like I said, I didn't have them all at once. You'd want to do these over time, okay? All right, so here's another. I wanted something. I wanted like a freebie or a lead magnet to send out to the people I wanted to stay in touch with. So if you guys did the challenge with me, the VA Client Kickstart Challenge, and we have another one coming up in a couple of weeks. On day 3, I talk about the keep in touch emails, right? I teach you how to do that. And what I wanted to do was create a reason to stay in touch with my people. So I said, hey, or, I sent them an email. Hi, so-and-so. I just wrote this this lead magnet. Well, I called it a white paper, but I don't know what you would call it these days. But that was 11 years ago, and that's what you call it in corporate. Created this white paper. It's called The 7 Biggest Mistakes Made by Small Business Owners When Trying to Grow a Business, and I thought you might enjoy it. Now I had it edited, I had it formatted, and I gave it away every place I could. And it took time, it took effort, it took a little money, but it definitely helped me grow my list. And then when a client said something to me about, I'd like something to be formatted, that I, as a freebie or to opt in, I whipped this thing out. I'm like, here you go. Well, let's start here. And, it could be a PowerPoint presentation. It could be, anything that you've worked on can go right in that, virtual display case. All right. Okay. Now I want to talk about tools. Okay. So tools are something that this might surprise you, but clients will come to me and they'll say, I have Post-it notes all over my desktop. I am their physical desktop. I'm so overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. Oh, let me show you my Evernote. This is how I do it. Or a client says their hard drive is a disaster. And I say, let me show you my hard drive. And I show them how my client work is organized, my Rocket Girl, business is organized, and I show them. So, they may or may not ask you to help them clean up their hard drive, but by giving them this valuable information, you are really, you're being a useful, helpful person. And that goes a long way in the world, right? It goes a long way for sure. All right, so I want to hear your ahas from today as we wrap up. All right, I want to hear your ahas in the chat, like the thing that surprised you about this, because I know many people say you need a portfolio, but there's no way I could create a portfolio. I can't do the graphics. I mean, I guess I could have hired someone to do it, but I think real life examples are much better. I think that they really go a long way. And yes, I didn't have all of them all at once. It took me years to do this, right? But if you take, the next 2 Saturdays, or if you're not working the next two, Wednesdays, and you work on one of these things and you finish it completely, and then you work on another one and you finish it completely, you can see over time. And there are many more examples. These are just the top ones that I picked to talk to you about in the time that we had today. But it's very powerful. It's very powerful. And I'll tell you what, nothing builds confidence like experience. So give yourself the gift of experience in your own business. All right. All right, good. So creating a solid display case. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people don't think about it that way. So before we go, I want to tell you about my upcoming free training on how to have a steady stream of clients in your business. Having a steady stream of clients is really at the core of the whole thing here, right? And one of the things we learn about are the email newsletters, but there are other things you need to do in order for this all to work. Now we're going to get started on June 6th at noon Eastern, okay? If you'd like to sign up, and I'd love to have you, go to vachallenge.info, sign up so you don't miss a thing. There's all kinds of events. There's bonus sessions. There's a bonus session on the debit card course. There's one on email newsletters. We just have tons and tons of information, and we're going to have a brand new session that I'm working on now, all about VAs and money and how to shift your money-making mindset. That's going to be really important, and I'm very excited for you all, to come to that as well. But sign up and join me. I'd love to have you. And Carol says, I'm just starting out, so it's good to hear. Thanks. You're welcome. Yeah, because it can be so overwhelming. So one thing at a time, one step at a time is how you're going to get traction and move your business to the next level. Okay, everybody. Thank you for coming. Thank you for participating. Bye for now. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon.